into that style of play. BLG, though, Zeri available, Sivir available, these big priority AD carries, or perhaps wanting to get a jungler for themselves. We'll have to see.
I think just go towards the Sivir. Force OMG to come in with an answer to Sivir Yuumi, because game one they didn't have one, and now a lot of these same bans still here. I mean, we had the Zeri come out in game one for the opposing side, but when Sivir works so well, I just don't see why you need to look away from the plan.
Could be the Zeri, though, being hovered by Doggo right now. Yuumi good with both, right? Yuumi just incredibly strong right now, honestly, with any of these team fight scaling AD carries. I will say the Sivir gives you that priority in the bottom side that we were just talking about. Looks like as they run out of time, it will be that Zeri locked in for the side of BLG, so not opting into the Sivir, at least for the time being.
The thing I'll give it right is at least with the mobility and the dashes that it brings, repositioning, it opens up Doggo to at least put himself in better position.
Okay.
And okay.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, to me, in my mind, out of like Samira, Silas, Tristana, this would be like the least likely thing to come through. But OMG saying they don't care. They still just want to be able to keep up that aggression. A champion that also able to get priority with the passive coming out from the E, and now they will always be able to find the fights that they're looking for. For BLG, you can look to match jungler here, or it feels like maybe you can take a high priority mid lane. LeBlanc, of course, signature icon champion, came in, has gotten buffs on this patch to the damage on the W, also getting some buffs towards the mana. So you can not only look to trade more often and more aggressively, going to help out with some things like wave clears to get more points into that W, and overall just rounding out pretty well. Does open up for OMG to potentially ban out junglers, though. For BLG, I'm curious to where they'll go, if they'll look to start taking away some of these mid lane options, and they do. Vex not going to be open for Creme.
Yeah, which, you know, not necessarily a champion I was expected to come in today, but does very well into that LeBlanc. So removing Vex from the table. The Silas already gone. Perhaps something like the Akali could be taken off if you don't want to have a volatile mid lane where Creme has his hands on an assassin as well. We'll see. Talia also still open. Talia has been kind of just forgotten about during this draft, so could be an option for Creme. He's only played it once this split. Certainly not a pick that he's lent into, but when you've got a strong bot side like this, could be an option.
I think this was a good choice, considering that, like, playing LeBlanc, you feel fine laning into Talia. You feel fine laning into Ahri as well. Even Akali's fine. So out of those three, go towards, I think, the safest out of the options that Creme has left available. So they do go for that. Coming into second phase, we still have the Viego open. If BLG want to go towards, I'd say, the most like stock and standard pick we have come through, Vi would kind of fit thematically in terms of that you have a LeBlanc, you can just kind of hone into having a lot of dive potential. But with this, it's kind of interesting because, right, LeBlanc is a very flexible champion in terms of you can look for all-ins, but you could also play this poke style. You have the W coming out from Zeri, you know, now have the pillar from Tundle to dissuade them from coming in. So BLG having a bit of a pseudo poke composition that is still very flexible in terms of being able to go in.
Yeah, this pseudo poke, as you say, and a good amount of disengage with both the Trundle pillar that you talked about, the Yuumi as well. Really, really good on disengage. Gwen locked in for Shanji. That's what we like to see. A bit of aggression on that top side and team fight power. OMG, you can see the composition like building before your very eyes, can't you? The Wukong goes in, knocks everyone up. Nautilus there to help with the engage and to get that depth charge down onto the Zeri. And then Gwen, Tristana, the Akali we talked about, locked in for Creme. They are going to go crazy in a grouped-up team fight.
And it was the only thing left open, right? I feel like the second we saw the Ahri ban, like, it had to be Akali coming through for Creme. You hit on it. It's all about the dive. It's all about the all-in, getting on top of the key carries for the side of BLG. Right now, it looks like they're just going to look for the standard top lane option into the Gwen. I don't think it's about bad shout, bringing in the Mega Gnar, having some form of lockdown and potential there. And yeah, two very different drafts, right? OMG wanting to go in, BLG wanting to keep them at arm's length, control vision extraordinarily well. And then LeBlanc and Zeri both do incredibly well of like poking you down over walls, poking you down over terrain, and then not allow you to enter the space so you can either get the objective or finish off kills on low health targets.
I feel like this early game is going to be really scrappy, right? You're talking about the poke that BLG brings to the table, but OMG as well, massive pick potential, massive burst damage on their side. It does feel like if you overstep when teams are setting up for a Drake and things like that, the mobility is there from both sides to really quickly punish you for that overstep and turn it into an unfair fight. And that's what the two teams will be looking to do. As we head towards game number 2, remember, BLG, they have kept their playoff streams alive. Even if they lose the series now, they are still actually in the running for playoffs. It just becomes a lot less likely. But with a win here, they give themselves a very real chance of making it. OMG, on the other hand, remember, they wanted to fight for 6th seed here. And they wanted a 2-0 to do it. It's still possible with a 2-1. But they need to get those wins on the board. OMG have their work cut out as they move into game 2.
And a lot going to be coming out from the side of OMG. Bot lane, incredibly aggressive. We want to see those all-ins coming through from Abel and Cold, and Aki there to enable them. Creme as well. I mean, first few levels could be a little bit annoying, but once we hit 6, I mean, this could just be, you know, full-on outplay show coming between Creme and Icon. Who's able to land their abilities? Can Icon land the chain, lock the Akali down, get some of that burst? Or can Creme dodge out, connect the E, follow in with the second E, and, you know, get the execution down with his ult? So, Munch, I at least think this time around, we're guaranteed more action. We're guaranteed a higher pace.
Oh, no, Lyric, what are you doing? You can't say that out loud now. We're guaranteed.
We're guaranteed. I'm committing.
No
I'm doubling down.
What have you done?
I'm doubling down.
Oh, Ben spots out Aki here. Aki does go for the... I thought he'd faked it then, because the observers had toggled the vision. I thought he had gone, like, faked vision onto the red buff, which would have been, I don't know, 5-head mind games. Will be ward on that red buff, though, so BLG will be spotted. WeiWei. They will have full information of his start on the red buff here.
BLG can do the same, right? They're bringing Icon down now, and some of the nice things about LeBlanc, you can just get enemy vision on an enemy buff just with really no committal whatsoever, since you do just start off with your distortion. So both teams will have similar levels of information. Looks like BLG going to start on that top side, so OMG will just outright know WeiWei pathing down towards his bottom lane. So for OMG, Aki starting up towards his blue. And when we just hit on for Aki wanting to see him more involved, and especially around that bot lane, definitely feels like the path is working out well, to where for WeiWei, looks like kind of matching that expected path to be able to cover his bot lane.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to move down towards that bottom side. Both of our junglers. We could have a little scuffle for the Scuttle Crown, but I will say Tundle in that early game does pretty well in the 1v1, so you can anticipate maybe WeiWei could get that Scuttle. Depends on the timings, though, as WeiWei straight down to the bottom side. Not messing about with chickens, not messing about with Krugs. He's gone straight to his blue.
Yeah, gonna go with a bit of the faster clear as well, right? Trundle definitely preferring those single target camps, red, blue, straight into the Gromp, and also giving his bot lane a little bit of safety and security in terms of looking for this trial level 1 before Nautilus Tristana really comes online, which, you know, would be level 2, level 3 when you have the ability to find the hook, jump in with that rocket jump, and just get straight on top of Doggo and Crisp.
I have to say, though, I'm looking at this mid lane, right? It's Akali versus LeBlanc, and it's Icon on another classic pick of his, right? His Azir, 3rd most played of his career, doing an amazing job in game number 1. Now playing the LeBlanc, which is his most played champion ever in competitive. I can't wait to see what he's got up his sleeve for us. WeiWei moves in, looking for an invade onto Aki. Big damage already coming on down, and Aki just trying to flee, but I don't know if he gets to. Oh, lethal tempo popped. WeiWei not going to flash for the kill. Happy to just take the red buff.
Yeah, I mean, you already hit on, like, the early dueling strength of Trundle coming through. He also already has this red buff as compared to Aki doesn't have it. Lethal tempo actually being a bit better in the early game than Conquerors on the opposing side, so having all the tools necessary to just completely run Aki out of his jungle. And Aki not wanting to lose out on too much, trying to run straight up to just guarantee the Scuttle Crab and make sure that he gets something.
And I like that from Aki, right? Being able to guarantee that you're not falling too far behind and actually head up towards Bin as well, who Bin will not be expecting Aki to be a part of any kind of play right now, but pops underneath his tower, should be safe with where the lane is positioned.
And plays like this are just so smart, right? Just the fact that he shouldn't expect something like this. There must have been communication coming out from his team, like, hey, Aki's chunked low, he's going to go for a reset. Even worst case, you get to pick up the Krugs, and they can just kind of stem the bleeding of being able to fall too far behind from the counter jungling that WeiWei was going for earlier on.
Now WeiWei moving up, but has that Scryer's Bloom and spots that the Crook's going on. So the game is up. Aki has been rumbled, and WeiWei is chasing him down through the map here. Look at the health difference. Look at the sheer power difference between BLG and OMG on that top side. Shanji has to back away, and Aki, he did manage to grab those Crooks for himself, but he'll pay with his grab.
And I mean, he's just so lucky that like this is spotted out now and not, let's say, like this situation happening in a minute, 2 minutes time, where if WeiWei had boots, I mean, WeiWei definitely could have run him down there. WeiWei has pillar, WeiWei has flash, just being a little bit too behind. Shanji, gonna be a bro, gonna try and support his jungler, make sure this doesn't go through, but WeiWei having the smite allows it to happen. Kind of taking stock of lanes right now. All of BLG's lanes in a comfortable position. For OMG, we're going to be redirecting our attention to Aki pathing back down towards that bot side, seeing if they can open anything up. The fact that Creme not able to get pry on this matchup early on from the range advantage able to come through from Icon just kind of hinders and makes it hard to find these opportunities available for the side of OMG.
So talk to me a little bit about this bottom lane, Eric, because in my mind, Tristana and Nautilus should have like kill threat on Zeri Yuumi. They should have priority, they should be able to just dominate his lane, but that is not what is happening, right? CS lead for the side of Doggo and Crisp, as well as the cull start from Abel, so clearly feeling like they couldn't go too aggressive in the early game. Talk me through the matchup a little bit, because that's not what I would have expected.
I'm actually really surprised as well. So I'm kind of curious, because we haven't really been, our observers haven't really panned over bot lane, like if Cole's actually actively been looking for hooks, and it's been, maybe Doggo and... Yeah, and Doggo and Crisp kind of playing out, but you're right, yeah, double Ghost coming out on both sides for AD carries to be able to find more impact in teamfights, right? Get on the map a little bit faster at points as well if you're a bit behind on a rotation and need to try and link up for a play. But yeah, both teams kind of indexing into not being all about the 2v2, but I gotta ignore the 2v2 because Shanji...
Yeah, kind of not really able to make the ult work for him as Ben just returns to the lane once again. The reason I was so surprised on the Ghost, I saw a blue summoner for AD carries. I just assumed it was cleanse, like, by default. Like, my brain just auto-filled that as cleanse on both sides. So, the Ghost coming out. Bit of a weird one on the bottom side.
We've actually been seeing more Ghosts come in recently in the bottom lane. And they're going to kind of give you that impact, like, in team fights to be able to skirt around, be able to get away. Bit of a lower cooldown as well. But definitely not something we see every game in the LPL right now.
Especially on a pick like Tristana, right, where you have so much movement anyway. It's not a summoner that you'd necessarily expect to be a priority. Icon, big damage onto Creme. He's doing a really good job in this mid lane. Having a bit of a CS lead. But every time we look over, it is Icon winning those trades. But now Creme is level 6. Icon does have to be a little more cautious on it because that's really where Akali's going to come online.
Yeah, 100%. Especially the fact, him having the Ignite, him being level 6. Like, these are the opportunities where... Ideally, you want to come into lane and try to look for that all-in quite early before Icon's able to get any level of that poke down. So you can already see Creme aggressively fishing for that all-in so he can find the opportunity, be able to get the kill and start making his presence known on the map. So when we've kind of hit on OMG that's what they would have liked. But, I mean, you already hit on the Ghost. Another thing for the Ghost in bot side is even the lethal tempo, right? Another thing kind of signaling that OMG not going for that level of aggression. They need to be concerned about this biting them later, though. Going up against Tundle, Yuumi, Zeri, champions that are going to scale phenomenally.
WeiWei is just, every single time he sees Aki, he wants to fight. He just walks on towards this monkey and tries to make the plays happen. WeiWei threatening in the mid lane, though, stopping Creme going too aggressive onto Icon here. Decides not to go for anything too much more here. As he did get the grab, got the flash out from Aki, moves back to his own half. And it really has been WeiWei controlling the early game as Doggo and Crisp also get themselves a plate on the bottom side. Everything is looking fantastic for BLG.
And this is really nice, especially considering for WeiWei, right? Because WeiWei has just been so... I don't even feel like hit or miss is the right word, because it actually feels like he's missing more than he's been hitting this split. But yeah, it's so easy to think back to all the good moments and good splits that WeiWei's had in the LPL so far. And Ben finds the engage.
Pillar's there. Shanji's fine. He's fine. The needlework will come through onto Ben as well. So a bit of bonus damage there from Shanji. WeiWei couldn't quite get into the play. Ben tried to get the stun, but wasn't quite able to get Shanji to connect to the wall.
And this actually might even just open up the Herald for the side of OMG. BLG are going to go for it, but Gnar down. There's no ult there. Like, sure, Shanji's uses needlework as well, but you got to be really afraid of the Cyclone coming through. And look at the minimap. Both bot lanes are coming Both bot lanes are coming!
Okay, we've got a scrap on our hands as Bin's been caught as well, forced to flash by Shanji. Now WeiWei in trouble as here comes Doggo. Final chapter, Icon gets first blood here. BLG starts strong as Creme tries to get into the fray. Akali in the midst of everyone, but his team is falling down around him. Shanji next to fall as he does take the herald. Shanji crucially denying that one, but it ain't enough as he's lost 4 teammates.
And BLG showing up today, styling on OMG. Looks like they were the team that got the Herald, but the fact that they got so many kills out of that is so much more worth. I mean, out of nowhere, BLG have created a 2,000 gold lead.
Pretty nice for BLG, and crucially for Icon, who had just picked up a Dark Seal before that play. 3 stacks now on that one for him. And it feels like he's in position to have another really great game. Final chapter setting everything up.
Yes, it sets it up, but even then, I mean, you land a hook onto the LeBlanc, not very impactful, has some mobility, and then they follow through after the final chapter comes through. WeiWei able to get on the back line, find some knockups to go through, and then Doggo, much better positioning in this game in the skirmish than we saw in Game 1 on his Sivir.
Really nice stuff from Doggo. Aggressive, that's what we needed to see is this aggressive team fighting. The Ghost used very effectively, just chasing Abel down, and again, I was expecting this Tristana to be the aggressive side of the matchup, but with no cooldowns, trying to play for Peel does not work out for Abel. And now, big advantage for BLG. What can they do with it? They've got a LeBlanc, they've got a Zeri, they have a lot of power across the map to use, and Drake is on.
For BLG, I mean, Frostfire Gauntlet now picked up for WeiWei. I think you keep going with the plan of just playing through your jungler. They can look for these aggressive invades. They can get deep vision down. You can already see them starting to get that. Oh, Doggo!
He's got no summoners. Abel's in big trouble here. He's just going to go down. Pushed out of position, forced to use his rocket jump and then take it down. Aki hiding in the brush here. Cole moves over. There's a hook onto the kitty cat. Knock up onto Zeri as well. Doggo will fall, and Aki and Cole make the play to punish the side of BLG. A crucial play because that Drake could have started the snowball.
That was just clever coming out from OMG, right? Honestly, not really too much you could do as BLG there. The fact that Aki kind of accepted his AD carry going down and stayed in the brush, like, there's no reason for BLG, you would assume enemy jungles in that position. So, nice job by OMG to be creative, to be clever, to be able to find that pick, and make sure that this wouldn't just turn into a snowball outrageously. BLG still do have a gold lead, and right, with the item advantages coming through in terms of like mythics and items on the board, should be able to keep up the momentum. It looks like they're going to keep going with that now.
Good shuriken flip there from Creme to keep himself safe as WeiWei tried to move into the lane. First strike still on the map, 11 minutes in. Neither team willing to commit as Icon just looking for more damage.
Look at the minimap. We see both Cold and Aki heading up the top side.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bin's in trouble here. Gnar currently. That'll time out shortly. Then Bin, with no flash available either, might get baited in by Shanji here. You can expect Shanji to go for aggressive trades. As Cold and Aki move over, Bin knows something's up. He smells a rat, but Cold might be able to find the anchor. Does find his target. Aki flies in as well. Ignite is there, and a kill for Cold. In the meantime, Shanji doesn't get part of the kill, but he gets himself some plays.
OMG realize they can't contend on the bottom half of the map right now and figure that's where BLG are putting their resources. So they just say, hey, axe the bot lane. We don't care about that turret. Go straight up towards the top side. And Abel's actually heading up there now as well. So going to try and get all that pushing power to try to contend what BLG's duo's doing right now.
If they have a wave, maybe they can actually take this first. I'm not sure. Tristana versus Zeri. Maybe Zeri has the edge. There will be 2 plates taken here, and Doggo just has more time on it. With the explosive charge, though, there is a chance that the Tristana can outrace it. Where's the double picture? We always get a double picture. Right now is the tower will not go down. On either side, the wave crashing already on the bottom side, though. I think BLG will be the ones to grab the first tower.
Yeah, BLG going to get it. They even have wards littered all across OMG's jungle, so they can spot out where Shanji is right now. But OMG, realizing they're losing that race, actually moving over to mid to try to punish Icon.
Trying to punish, but not going to be able to for the time being. Icon has the W available. Distortion on cooldown, but has flash, right? The Mimic on cooldown? Yeah, Mimic. I was getting confused with Hijack there from Silas for a split second. All of the ults that change abilities get confused in my head. Icon, or at least the names do. Icon managing to keep himself safe there. Cold just going to go for the reset. Tower finally traded in the top side. And crucially, 5 seconds until those plates go down. So Abel still getting a massive amount of gold there.
Yeah, OMG doing a nice job to kind of get close to equalizing that gold lead. And, I mean, we've seen, right, both teams kind of lean around mid to try to find these plays, but incredibly hard to find plays on either an Akali or LeBlanc, both having multiple ways to be able to get out of those sticky situations. Even in terms of solo kills, right? One of them would need to, like, hard overcommit for them to really be in any position of danger. So that's not going to happen, and we should probably start seeing both teams transition into this 1-3-1 like we're seeing now. All soul laners on both sides feel comfortable in those side lanes, and I feel like this is where the map can really start to open up. If Icon's keeping up that pressure, going to give him more windows to roam over the sides. We talked about how for BLG, we want to see them all in on WeiWei's advantage, so it opens up more invades into the enemy jungle and trying to snowball your Trundle's advantage even further.
Yeah, trying to get this Trundle ahead is the name of the game. I mean, trying to get him ahead. He is ahead. Trying to get him even further ahead. The name of the game here is WeiWei grabs that Scuttle Crab. Looking towards the mid lane. I love how active Cold is, though. Cold is everywhere. Trying to make the plays. And there we go. Straight on into the Zeri. Doggo down. Next is the Kitty Cat. Crisp 2-4. And OMG find themselves 2.
It's been nice as well because we've seen these teams find leads in different ways. Like BLG's pure team fighting has been better this game in some of their map control, but OMG have been creative. They've been clever to be able to find these kills. They've been looking for picks. That's going to pay off this time around. It should turn into this Herald. Hopefully they're able to pick this one up. And then, I mean, heck, you have a plethora of options of where you can drop this Herald. Both mid and bots still open. We've already talked about sides being opened up if you want to extend those lanes for the Akali. But I definitely think looking towards mid, probably the play for OMG.
Yeah, Herald taken down, though. Aki getting a good chunk of local gold there. Remember, 300 gold for the Herald now. Not too shabby. Cold could be caught anchor to get to the wall, but the chains do land from Icon. Don't know if he has any more damage in the tank. Yes, he does. Icon with a solo kill onto Cold.
Icon killing his former support. I mean, heck, these two played with each other for such a long time, but Icon doesn't care. Icon, he's a stone cold killer. And it would honestly be great if we got to see another performance of Icon being the one to carry, Icon to pick up the MVP, because I mean with LeBlanc, right, you just have so many ways to impact the game. But we see here, I mean, Cold comes in, flash, hook into the ultimate, they're chaining the Cyclone. Like, they're really not leaving any room for good flash timings or really anything to come through for BLG to be able to outplay this. Just throw all the CEC, layer it together perfectly, and no response able to be given.
Sorry. I just saw Abel waiting for Cold to get the cannon and then autos the caster minion and the Tristana passive kills the cannon anyway. All in down from Creme onto Icon. He will get out with his life though thanks to the zoomies. As OMG stacking up 15 seconds on the Drake here and BLG won it.
OMG going to try and brute force their way in. I mean, heck, they do have Cold on the Nautilus, so they don't have to be too fearful in terms of face checking for this vision. And BLG, compositionally, would like to be on objective first. Utilize the LeBlanc distortion of the chain, like Doggo throwing out W's over the wall. These things still work if you're not on objective to try to whittle them down. It's just not as guaranteed of being able to get as much poke as possible before them, you know, coming on in. So for BLG, we're going to see Icon try to find the flame.
Certainly are. Abel down to half HP. Does have the red buff, but it's not that much regen at this point in the game. Herald down in the bottom lane. The minion wave just going to be circumvented. It's already gone past, so the Herald will get its charge. Remember, that second Herald, much more HP to work with, so it will get some time on the tower as well. OMG back on. Icon in onto Abel. Doesn't quite have the damage. The chains didn't land. Ignite down onto Icon as well, but Abel has to back away. They don't get the kill, but it's good enough from Icon to force OMG away.
Finds the damage as Creme. Oh, yeah, Icon needs to be careful. Creme could definitely be able to follow this one through. I don't know if it's just because of how close he got that I didn't see the animation go through, but didn't even look like he threw out the Sigil of Malice. But kind of surprising at how little damage Icon did when he went in for the all-in burst. But like you said, I guess at the end of the day, it was enough for them to get the objective. Going to utilize the TP right away and try to keep up pressure on this top side.
Creme is onto Icon right here. The Shuriken's there, but he's locked up. The Ignite isn't enough. WeiWei saves the day.
WeiWei with the ultimate was the difference maker to make sure it goes through. TP coming on in. Creme didn't expect a thing. Not only do they get a kill, do they get Scuttle Crab, but now able to keep up pressure in both lanes. And look, Bin's actually roaming over to mid lane.
go root down onto Cold, but yeah, Cold trying to turn it around. He's just going to fall. BLG starting to snowball here. That's 2 picks in a row at a crucial time in the game. Baron is up in a minute, and massive amounts of control can be gained now by BLG.
And Munch, like seriously, the playoff race is just opening up so much. If OMG lose here, like them and LG on 7 wins, we're gonna have TT, FPX, and BLG all on 6 wins. IG are only on 4, but they're on a 3-series win streak. They could still make it. Like these last few playoff spots, who's gonna make it? Who knows? Who can guess?
This is so exciting, but also like BLG, where was this all split long? Where was this kind of proactive pick-based gameplay? Where was this wherewithal to try and find the wins? Like so many BLG games I watched this split, it didn't even feel like the team was trying that hard, you know? And now we see them here on the last chance saloon, and they pull it out of the bag here with an advantage in their second game after domination in the first. 2 Drakes on the board, a 2,000 gold lead. And I want to see this kept up. Icon back on the map, and it feels good to see Icon performing. Creme wants to punish him, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I also got to say, going back to the point you were making about bringing it back, it is very easy once your team starts losing, falling behind, struggling, that negativity hits. It's hard to, like, build up good camaraderie on the team. You kind of just sink into this, like, depression and pitfall that's hard to pull yourselves out of. So the fact that BLG have done it is super impressive has been. Got to be careful, even if Shanji's low.
Shanji's just going to die. Big.
He missed everything. Everything.
Yes. Shanji throws up the white flag. He knows it's over. Bin killing the solo kill king and taking one of his own here. Doggo behind WeiWei. Final chapter comes on in. Doggo stacking up though. Keep your eyes on that Zeri. Aki trying to get him on the backline, but forced out of the play himself. Laser on Alpha. Creme goes in, and Doggo's in trouble here. Creme finishes the kill and flies out to his shuriken.
Creme able to take advantage of the fact that Doggo wanting to aggressively play that fight even after getting the safety of River. So, heck, 1 kill kind of answered on both sides of the board. BLG still the ones keeping up pressure. If we look at Bin pushing in bot, now Icon able to push in top, but still Gold staying incredibly competitive.
Yeah, super close one here. BLG still slightly ahead, still slightly with that advantage. Oh, Icon denying the recall from Creme. He's got WeiWei moving over. Aki on the drop right now. Creme desperate to get that recall off. Does not have TP, remember, so couldn't return to the play if Aki gets caught. But BLG just taking everything that they can. A blue buff will be their reward here as Shanji returns to that bottom side to push the wave out. Creme just trying to clear the waves underneath the tower. Needs to do it quickly before BLG can die.
Wait, Munch, am I crazy, or did we not see Bin die on our screens, or am I just...
Wait, yeah, what? Wait,
yeah, Bin's dead. Bin's dead. Wait, what? Okay, well, we need to go back. So this is the
solo kill he got, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he does respect the damage and sustain able to come through. Tries to, you know, walking away, dodging out the initial needlework, and then Shanji missing the next few. Straight into this play. Honestly, things go pretty decent for BLG at first. They're able to buy time and get away from the initial engage from Aki, and Aki actually being forced to flash away. So then Doggo walking a bit farther forward gives Creme the opportunity. And it also to say, Munch, if there's a third replay, that's over to you. But I wish we could have seen how Bin died.
I'm hoping there is another replay. I genuinely have no idea. It wasn't a Shanji solo kill. He died under the turret. 0 kills.
He died under the tier 2 turret, and I know Abel made his way over. Oh, okay. There it is.
Well, it's as simple as that. It just gets knocked back by the Tristana.
The average Thursday, Munch, or Friday, or whatever it is today.
I don't know. I've lost track of every... Oh, no, it's Friday, because I'm going on a stag do tonight. That's how I know. Let's go. Can't wait. It's going to be OMG, though. Set it up for the Drake. BLG decided not to contest this one. Icon is in the top lane. Does have TP, but I don't think BLG.
And we're in the same position we were in last time around. Like, a decently close game. BLG now on Soul Point. Icon incredibly strong. And yeah, OMG in a rough position. Luckily for OMG, I mean, they still have strong team fighting tools, right? Like, you have the Cyclone. Abel's still going to do a lot of damage. And we've seen Creme, if he can get on the backline, can just delete people. But the amount of control BLG been able to keep up, the fact that Icon on a second item, WeiWei on second item already, I feel like BLG feeling incredibly confident, especially with the Yuumi. We haven't really talked about Crisp or Yuumi too much because, let's be real, it's Yuumi, not the flashiest, most exciting, or let's be real, we all hate Yuumi. But a lot of his ultimates have been incredibly clutch. He's been locking down numerous members every time we've seen a skirmish come through.
And I will say, you've got great Yuumi targets, right? The LeBlanc is fantastic, the Zeri is fantastic, the Trundle is fantastic, even the Gnar, honestly, when he's in Mega Gnar, all great targets for Yuumi to sit on the shoulder of. So feels like a really good game for BLG to have that Yuumi in their pocket. And, you know, I'm not a fan of Yuumi as a champion, but at the end of the day, this is professional. Like, the teams should be using the best champions they have available, and Yuumi is in a real good spot in the meta right now, so definitely don't agree with them locking. Definitely don't disagree. Shouldn't have gone with the double negative. I agree with them locking it in.
You know, Munch, I agree with your disagreeing about the agreement, but Abel!
He's fine.
Very
He's
close.
Fine. No, not even close.
Is able to get away. Icon not able to connect the chains once again, but Icon just creating so much pressure for Bin in the bot lane right now because Bin's off pushing. That turret's incredibly low. And I mean, this damage should be enough to guarantee that Bin gets that turret.
Yeah, Bin has space in the bottom side. In the meantime, WeiWei and Doggo should be able to clear out the mid lane as well. So no counter pressure from the side of OMG. Icon with space from the bottom side moving into the mid lane here. Creme might be found. Bin moving into the play as well. And BLG just not giving a single inch. They are trying to buy so much space for the team. But Cold's on the flank. The TP's coming in as well. Bin the target here as Abel looks for the resets, but Bin flashes on out. Icon low as well. Abel can't get any resets though. And Doggo is stacking that lightning up. WeiWei survives. Somehow BLG all surviving as Doggo charges on forward. Able to target the Creme. Oh, the shuriken just shy as Doggo now starts to clean things up. He wants a bit of redemption as he charges forward with the zoomies. Shanji will fall. Another goes down. Aki first to move in.
Bin's here.
Bin's moving in from the side as well. Aki low on HP. Doggo goes back onto the play. Abel the target knocks him away and gets a double kill himself. Looks for Bin now as he jumps forward but goes down. Icon saves the play with his TP.
Team fights in the LPL are the most exciting in the world. The fact that BLG started with control, OMG were turning it around, and then BLG able to kite out the fight. Now gonna be able to take all these objectives. We're gonna go straight back, right? Exerting so much control with the threat from Icon that he's putting out. Doggo as well doesn't have to commit himself because the W dealing so much damage from a far range. But we see Cold come in from the back on the flank. TP's coming through. They're going to get a lot of damage off onto him. But the key thing is so many flashes up, right? Icon able to jump away. Bin having the hop as well. And then WeiWei the ultimate for security. And once they get out, I mean, the engage tools are now burnt for the side of BLG. Creme not able to land the shuriken means that kill doesn't follow up. And again, just the fact that the initial engage isn't able to pay off allows for the kite back, allows for Doggo to use the movement speed he's getting to utilize the Yuumi and just run down the members of OMG.
Yeah, Bin in the side of the fight, and then Icon sneaks around the back to finish the last two off. Beautifully done here, and BLG on the cusp here. 5,000 gold lead. Aki found. Will escape. Icon has to back away. I'm getting flashbacks to MSC with Knight on the LeBlanc alongside Yanja's Yuumi right now because this Yuumi LeBlanc combo is terrifying. Look at the items that Icon has as well. He's going to one-shot people.
Yeah, right now sitting just under 600 AP. Like, anytime Abel walks a little bit too far forward, 90% of his health bar is just going to instantly be gone. And BLG want to take advantage, forcing the Baron, but having Icon off to the flank. Sadly, now they know what he's doing.
Oh, Banshees is going to be gone. Lost chapter used as well. Abel actually just 1v1s Icon. No, taken down. He tries it, but OMG cannot find it. Now 3v4 here as in goes Doggo to try and turn things around. Aki on the front line. Shanji in the middle of everyone, but he just doesn't have the damage. Crunched underfoot by Bin. A double for Doggo. And once again, BLG finding these fights.
And that was so weird. Like, Creme jumped onto Icon, which I feel like is what gave Abel the confidence to rocket jump over the wall. Instantly pieced out. And
Icon. Creme, he's going to be chained. No, Creme finds the solo kill. Icon too aggressive.
I was going to say, honestly, that's a little bit of overconfidence coming up from Icon. Icon really feeling himself after the skirmishes being won. At the end of the day, though, this will just be Baron going over to the side of BLG. It's going to take a second longer than, you know,
it accidentally reset for a second, but it's okay. It's okay. Waiting for WeiWei was the key play there.
Yeah, now for BLG, right? the fact that WeiWei's coming up, they can already start making their way over to Dragon and try to posture long enough to prevent the members from OMG from just outright starting this. Need to be careful about the assassination potential able to come out from Creme. But still, Aki and Shanji a little bit ways away. BLG, though, still don't feel really confident just kind of staring in the face of OMG, which is fair.
And yeah, absolutely. OMG will be able to grab the Drake, crucially getting a bounty as well. So closing that gold difference a little bit. It's still 6,000 for BLG. It's still looking fantastic for them. And man, can we just take a second and appreciate how mental these team fights are? It's so scrappy. It's like lots and lots of 2v2s and 1v1s and any variants of those numbers in between. Feels incredibly exciting to watch, but also incredibly dangerous for both teams because they really are on a knife's edge.
Just what happened from game 1 to game 2? We're at 29 minutes with 30 kills
I
as
know.
compared to, the shenanigans we had in game 1. Like you're saying, a lot of it is just actually coming from the straight up 5v5s, which makes sense when we look at OMG's comp and know that it wants to go in straight up 5v5, and BLG as well. Like, BLG are confident in team fighting, just to be able to keep that distance, disengage the initial burst of damage coming through from OMG. And now with this Baron is where the composition will really shine. Just Icon weaving in and out, throwing his Q and E, trying to land a bit of damage, be able to get it to stick so you can finish off these turrets.
Shanji getting dived onto the tower here. Icon going for big damage. And remember, he has a Yuumi. He has sustain, so he can afford to trade health bars because he'll get topped up once again by Crispy Cole. Taking a bit of poke. Here we go. OMG into the play. Creme follows Icon, but Icon zips back out. Abel over the wall here, trying to take this down, trying to finish things off. Jumps onto Bin, but slammed into the wall. And that might just be curtains. BLG finishing OMG off. I don't know how they've done it, but BLG are alive and well and looking for playoffs.
I don't know how Icon survived there, but he did it. BLG's alive. BLG's playoff dreams are alive and well and going forward confidently.
Icon against his old squad as well had a series to remember here for BLG. What a performance, and I would say an upset, honestly, coming out. This is not the result I expected and not the BLG I expected, but my god, what a performance.
I love it much. Spicy playoffs race in tow. I don't know who's going to make it. We don't know what's going to happen. Again, really no crossover between any of these teams, but BLG now cementing themselves in a great position to be competitive with these other teams. I mean, going to be on the same amount of wins now as FPX and TT coming through. And let's remember, BLG now on 6, have 1 series left. It's against WE. WE haven't even picked up a win. Like, seriously, out of nowhere, BLG have put themselves in like a really serious potential, situation to be in playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, look, nobody below 7th. There are all the way up to 7th place. Teams are on 7 wins at maximum, is what I'm trying to say. BLG, with this win, will very likely finish on a 7-win mark as well. All they need is another team to finish on 7 wins with a worse game difference than Bilibili. Bilibili now on a -5 game difference. If they can 2-0 WE, they'll be on -3. So they need another team to go 7-9. And then have a worse game difference as well. And BLG makes it to playoffs. That is a very
honestly,
possible scenario.
No, like, if you look at what should be expected, honestly, AL probably should finish at 7 wins. LNG probably should finish at 7 wins. FPX as well. Like, I'm almost positive 7 wins will probably be like that 9-10 spot of playoffs. And now for BLG, like, my God, it's going to come down to game difference. It might even come down to, like, head-to-heads. We're going the distance, and it's all thanks to Icon. It's all thanks to Icon coming in today and putting OMG in their place. And my God, LeBlanc Yuumi, how annoying was that? The fact that he did not die at the end, like he had good plays, he outplayed it, but the fact that he had Crisp right alongside him the whole time was what just made it possible.
Yeah, I just think, like, Icon was criticized as the new mid laner, right? Like, people did not believe in this roster change. People were questioning BLG when they decided to bring Icon into the fold. But then Icon is the player that just tips the balance and makes it so BLG really do have a real chance of making playoffs in the end. I genuinely can't believe what we've just seen. And that the form in which BLG did it as well. Because like you say, this was an incredibly bloodthirsty game. It wasn't exactly high octane right from the word go or anything like that, but a lot of kills coming out. Like, this was a hard-fought win for BLG, but a win nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we saw a lot of what we expect from BLG. Like, there was nothing in terms of their playstyle, right? Like, again, Icon's performance, great. But in terms of how they played, like, it was still decently tempered. WeiWei, overall great performance in, like, abusing these things. But the fact that they can keep to their style, but find more consistency, level it up from what we were seeing earlier in the split, feels like good growth to me because it's natural growth. They didn't have to, like, go and force some, like, outrageous play style that could be hit or miss or could implode at any time. They're just sticking to what they know. They're sticking to what they're good at. Icon, I mean, LeBlanc is the champion I think of when I think of Icon. And just the way they played this game, I think, utilized BLG's player strengths very well.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I mean, Doggo as well, having an amazing game for himself, right? The damage he was putting out during the fights. And I think a much needed good game here from Doggo after game number 1 as well. Like, quite a few mistakes there on the Sivir. Feel like this game on the Zeri much more convincing. And the chase down through the mid